What's up, you guys? Kirsty Snyder here alongside Catherine. She's our special guest tonight for Teachable Tuesday. It is the 30th of January. If you're catching the replay from teachabletuesdayreplays.com, please put replay in the comments below. And then the document that we are going to go over and share really quickly tonight is your homework. Like, copy and paste it into a Word document, delete all of the answers and figure it out for yourself so that you can have daily sales, so that you can speak right to the people who you want to work with. And tonight we're going to discuss that. So thanks for hopping on the replay. We're going to let everyone in now and get rocking here in just a moment. All right, letting everyone in. When you guys can see and hear us, put a 2 in the chat and we'll get rocking here in just a moment. Letting more people in. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Rachel, Mariah, Albert, Idalia. Oh my gosh, I totally slaughtered that. You got to tell me how to pronounce your name. Oh, David, good to have you. Miriam, what's up, my friend? Okay, let me know what city, state, or what country you're tuning in from. Just drop a comment real fast. Cindy did the punch. We got Winnipeg. Love it. Sim in Canada. We got Utah, Baltimore, Kansas, Maine, Minneapolis, Missouri, Connecticut. Okay, keep it coming in, guys. Jamaica, love it. Cool. So first and foremost, want to take, a quick temperature of the room, what's happening, what's going on. If you started in the funnel team within the last 30 days, drop the word 30 for me. Just drop the word 30, okay? And if you have been here since, let's say 2022, how about that? If you've been here since 2022, drop a 22 in the chat. Love it, Bert. Sweet. Sim, we got lots going on. Awesome. Catherine, oh, you've been here since. Oh,
Nobody knew.
nobody knew. Nobody could guess. Okay, so one more question, then we're going to dive into it. Whether you started in the last 30 days, yesterday, this morning, last week, exactly 29 days ago, whatever, you're somewhere in the middle of that and 2022. Where are you inside of the TFT training? Are you catching the replays? Are you in the Fast Start guide? Are you hooking your domain? Are you watching the DM formula? Are you watching the replays about the DM formula? Where are you inside of being in proximity? Okay. Now, proximity, just as a real quick refresher, we talk about all the time, is being near something, right? Daniel says all the time, if you want to be wealthy, study wealth. Same thing here. You want to succeed online. You want to have daily sales. You want it to be where it's magnetic for you. How much truly are you in proximity to what works? Okay. So Albert, for example, DM formula short form video, is that the playlist? I assume just put the word playlist, Bert, if that is what you mean. Let's see. We got the Fast Start guide. You're posting multiple times a day, Mariah. Love it. Susan says Fast Start guide part 2. Awesome. So check in with yourself, a checkup from the neck up, so to speak. If you do not have an answer, whether you started last week, this morning, whatever, or you've been around for a couple years, if you don't have an answer, you're like, oh yeah, that TFT training. No, I just show up to Teachable Tuesday. Wrongo, my friend. Make sure that you're truly, truly involved with everything that's inside of the funnel team, your exclusive training. Because the more you can be involved with that, the more you're going to attract people who also do that, which means less babysitting on your end, more maximizing time, and then you being able to, as we keep saying, attract people who are like, yep, I'm serious. Yep, I'm in proximity. Yes, I was involved. You didn't have to remind me. I just was there because I want it bad enough. Does that make sense, guys? Just drop the word makes sense if you feel me, okay? And then tonight, we're going to be talking about something specific toward attracting those sales. So let's dive in, Catherine.
All right. Tonight we are going to be going over mindset pieces, meaning whenever you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. So we're going to help you understand what exactly that means and how you can specifically speak to your avatar. Remember that you are your avatar and you attract what you are, not what you want. Niching down equals daily sales, and narrowing down your hashtags and your availability is a fire combo.
Okay, so that last one, I want you guys to understand that is your biggest thing right now. There's mindset pieces. You attract what you are, not what you want. You try to talk to everyone. Oh, side hustles, anyone who wants to make money. Well, you're not getting results because you blend in with everyone else who wants to make money. Your content's the same, it's repetitive. Someone does not stop their scroll because you do not stand out, right? What we're talking about tonight, avatar wise, Catherine just said avatar. Do you guys know what that is? I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not talking about the blue guys. What for you, Catherine, is avatar as comments come through? Like, what would that mean for you?
Your avatar is, I'm trying to figure out the best words. Your avatar is plain and simple who you are, like inside out, who you are. Not just, oh, I'm Catherine. No, but what makes up Catherine? Does that make sense? Drop a make sense in the chat.
That does make sense. To
It's
me,
so
I'm
much
I'm I'm
deeper
totally there.
than,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so much deeper than, hi, I'm Catherine. Who is Catherine? Okay. And I am my avatar. My avatar is me. And we're going to dive in further for that and help you understand exactly what we mean.
Yep. Because it's more than just saying, hey, it's David and I help you make money online.
Mhm.
Yeah. Same with the other David who Alicia just scrolled past and Cindy saw and Lori didn't care for, right?
Mhm.
When you actually dissect who David is, why it matters that you started, why it matters that you're here, how you're going to make money online, how you help them intentionally, how you stand out for helping them, your content will lead to daily sales. Where Catherine just told me a moment ago before we started, she gets messages every single day that start out with something like, "You're me. I'm literally where you were a couple years ago. I need help. How can you help me? I was also in that situation. I also did this. I also had that, whatever." And if your content is saying that, you're going to attract people who you naturally have rapport with, who you naturally have trust with without even trying. Does that make sense, guys?
I try to think of it like, people who can relate to you and your struggles, your past struggles, what it is that you want to try to achieve, whatever the case may be. Like these people, your avatar is, who is going to relate to you. And
Yep.
that's why it's important that in your content, you are speaking about who you are and attracting obviously your avatar because again they are going to relate to you and your experiences.
Yep. And when someone relates, they buy. If
Mhm.
someone just feels pitched, here's what I offer and here's how I help and yay, done for you funnels. Why does it matter for them? Well, because maybe Catherine, for example, I know I did funnels. I was like, huh? Funnels? What the freak does that mean? Oh crap, I got to go get a ClickFunnels account. What is that? Oh my heck, it's $297 a month. Holy, I didn't know how to create a funnel. That was very overwhelming for me. And had I not been in a resilient mind for like, I'm going to figure this out, regardless of the help I have, I would have stopped there. It's a paralyzing factor for people, right? But
Mhm.
when you say that in your content, if you're like me, you're like, what the freak is GoDaddy? How do I do a funnel? Say that in your content. A couple
Yeah.
years ago, a month ago, whatever you want to say, I started out not knowing all the technical side. I'm so glad that I overcame that so that I can help you do the technical side and lock in daily sales, weekly commissions, right? Hope you guys are taking notes. I'm like
Yes,
accidentally spatting out short
dropping
form video
gems.
content. Right? Take notes. Um, you want to always be tying it down to who you want to work with. It's like your ideal client, your ideal team member. Well, ironically, your ideal person is you. So if there are attributes right now, and then we'll dive in, I'm going to share a document. Okay. If there are attributes right now that you don't like about yourself, Oh, I just wish I was more consistent. I wish I wasn't as awkward on camera. I am nervous about messaging people back, whatever. Start affirming the opposite. Start showing up as the person who deserves the I'm confident, I'm not awkward. I get daily sales, it's with ease, right? Be that person. Even if for a moment it feels like it's fake, because everyone who has ever done anything that you want to do had to start at nothing also. So say that in your content. You're still following the 4-point formula. You're still acknowledging that you were once a newbie. You're still starting out with a hook, but make sure that it speaks to what you've gone through. Does that make sense, guys? Just
Yeah,
drop the
because
word makes sense if you feel
you
me.
definitely don't need to show up and be perfect already. Okay.
Right.
You being just authentically yourself and you speaking from how you feel your experience is going to relate to that person. If you come on the camera and you're like, I had no freaking idea what digital marketing was, and I'm so freaking nervous to record myself, but here I am. You still
Mhm.
posture yourself and you're leading with that confidence. You're going to give that person that's also a little nervous, but they want to obviously get out of debt, they want to work from home, whatever the case may be, you're already showing them that they can do the same.
Mhm.
Does that make
Even if
sense?
you're nervous. Yeah. Because what Catherine just said, like if Catherine were to do a video like this, which she has and probably will, like today, I'm sure, she was nervous too. But hey, here I am because I'm serious about making money online with you. I'm serious about helping you get over the nerves that even right now I'm experiencing. That makes you relatable. It makes you trustworthy. It's understood by the viewer. And all in all, it makes you stand out because what's happening on TikTok, Reels, Instagram, whatever, it's all the same stuff, right? We've talked recently, guys, about not having a CTA that blends in. CTA, call to action, right? What is it you want them to do? Why did they watch through your video? What is the next action for them? Treat them like a 2-year-old. Go in the room and grab you wouldn't say, do this and then turn around and do that. Like a 2-year-old would not understand that. They do the one thing you say, right? It's the same thing with your CTA here. If you say something like link in bio, follow for more. Like if like this video. I mean, what are you after? You're after daily sales. You're after conversions. You're not after followers.
Mhm.
You're after a brand. And how you brand yourself is by doing something that makes you stand out. What's the quote, guys? Daniel says it all the time. If you want people interested, you need to be interesting, right?
I can say that when I first got started, I think my biggest upper hand in like how I built my business so fast is because being relatable and just being honest. But I definitely, by doing that, I separated myself from everyone automatically. Like,
Yep.
oh my God, nobody is sharing, how they truly feel. They're just talking about, oh, do you want to make money? Do you want to make, everybody wants to make money. But
Right.
why should someone want to work with you? If
Right.
you're already showing up, you're already, telling them, I would show up on TikTok live. I hated this. I was sweating bullets and I would just show up and I would just share my goals with these people that I had no idea who they were. And I'm like, started doing digital marketing and I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 job. Like I just started pouring all this into them. They're like, oh my God, you're really going to do
Me
that?
too. Right.
Like, they were like, I want to do the same. You have no knowledge. Like,
And you're up and you're doing something and it's nerve wracking for you. Well, holy freak, maybe I could too.
yep. And I
Right.
worked a full-time job, was a new
Mhm.
mom. So I already was showing moms, people who had jobs, that they could do this as well.
Does
Does
that
that
make
make
sense, guys?
sense?
Like that was a serious bomb. She showed up almost like without even knowing, probably a case study. Hey, I just started this online business 2 weeks ago. Watch me get to 10,000 a month because that's my goal, because I want to retire my spouse, because I want to whatever, right? People don't want the already made it type scene, right? People want the I just began. And if you didn't just begin, like Catherine, for example, and you're like, yo, I've been at this for like 3, 4 years now. She started out not knowing Jack. So say that in your content, whether you started this morning, you started last week, you started 7 months ago, say that in your content. Have a pain point for what you experienced and then paint the dream for how you solve that pain
Mhm.
with what you offer in the funnel team. Does that make
Exactly.
sense, guys?
It's not about you already being a success.
Right.
It's honestly about being able to help that person learn something that they don't know exists and how it can benefit them. Like you've already joined, you already got started, you're going through your journey,
Mhm.
right? So you're literally, like she said, Kirsty said, a case study, just sharing your experiences with other people, and that's how they relate to you. They're like, oh, you give them the confidence that they can do that too. You don't need to figure out like, oh my God, who do I need to try to talk to? You are your avatar. How did you feel when you first got started? How did you feel? Were you in debt? Were you working your job? Were you a stay-at-home parent and you wanted to just contribute? Like you had all these factors that, made you decide to bet on yourself, to start this journey for yourself. Those people are still sitting on the fence, just waiting to connect with
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
so that way you can help them along their journey too.
That was a
Makes
bomb. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
Like it's literally those few pieces. I have been doing this for almost 3 years, and every single day I, make content for the people, of course, that have no knowledge. People that were like me when I first got started. How did I feel when I first got started? What did I need to achieve, want to achieve, that way I could be a stay-at-home mom? Like
Right?
those pain points are everything that I touch on. 3 years later, I'm still talking about my job, and I haven't worked a job in 2 years because I know that's how they feel. I know my avatar is working. And if their moms or even dads reach out to me, they want to be a present parent for their kids.
Mhm.
They relate to me because that was me. I mean, that is me every day.
Mhm.
Right? I do this every single day. I love what I do because of what it provides me. And me showing up every day and showing someone else, my avatar, that they can do this too, literally is just that, me speaking directly to them.
Mhm. Yep. And something that makes you guys stand out is the meaning of it. So don't just say go to work with Kylie.com. Tell them why. Because I will get your number and I will text you back personally because I will help you one to one right away as soon as you hit this link. Because you got to stand out in some type of way. But why are you guys here? Because you probably saw a video that connected you. There was a story at one point that you were like, wow, that was me too. Yep, I stress about that. Yep, I have that. Yep, I have that goal, whatever. And in order to talk to your avatar, so Vanessa, for example, avatar is just your ideal team member, it's your ideal client. Essentially, you're your own avatar. You're going to attract people who are like you. What needs to be shared in your 4-point formula every single time you post a video, every single time you put out a meme, every single time you do anything in a DM, all of that, you're still following the 4-point formula. You're still hooking them in
Mhm.
and you're expressing where you were, whether you started a day ago, a month ago, 2 years ago, whether you have your 10,000 a month goal already done or you don't, you need to show up like the beginner. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Relate to the beginner. Don't have it be where it's like, see, I've already made it. And, here you are, just another number for me. Like,
Mhm.
no, a person is not a number. They're a connection. And you got into this business. You're here on the funnel team. You're literally here on Teachable Tuesday because you connected with someone. You understood what they were going through because you're currently in it or you have the goal to be in it. Does that make sense? Up to this point, guys, any questions so far? Just drop a question if
I think we explained that in
there's
like
anything
5 different
specific.
ways.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. So where'd that one from Martha go? Where would you put that into your formula? That's literally the exact same thing you do if you start out with saying something like, do you want to retire your spouse? Right? That's a hook. Oh, wait, I want to retire a spouse. But then throughout your formula, hook, build up, present value, call to action, you're still following that concept. What I mean, Martha, is you're not starting out saying, hey, it's Martha, scroll. A new eyeball, they're like, who the freak is Martha? Don't care. You start out with a hook like a movie trailer, right? And saying something that you struggled with. I can't believe I used to be in $120,000 of debt, right? That's a trigger. Someone listens to that, they're like, oh, what's she going to tell me? Is she out of debt? Oh, wait, she's out of debt. How'd she do it? Right? But that was a pain point, right? Does that make sense, guys?
And even if it's
Any,
something simple, even if it's something simple as, everybody has been seeing obviously digital marketing, affiliate marketing going on. Are you worried that all these digital marketing opportunities are a scam? I used to think that too until XYZ, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be, retiring a spouse. It could be something as simple as that. And again, you are speaking directly to your avatar because they may feel like that if you have felt like that as well in the past.
You're basically just bringing to the surface what everyone's thinking, but no one is talking about. Like, you guys know the videos on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, that are like, oh, this is how I made $3,000 my first week. And you're like, that's not relatable for me. Sure,
Right.
everyone and their dog wants that. And you might be intrigued to watch that video, but then turns out they're just going to upsell you. Turns out the 3,000 came from someone spending 10 grand 7 different times. I mean, there's a lot of pain points that the majority of online marketers probably are not doing. And because they're not doing it, that is the reason you ought to. You got to bring up what people are not talking about. Even Catherine the other day, last week, sometime she specifically had a video that expressed not every day is going to be easy. In fact, today sucked. And here's why. And here's how I overcame it. Being an online marketer, you get to have resilience, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care if you started yesterday, you started a week ago. All of this content stems from who you are, right? And it's relatable for people. For example, I get a lot of people who live in Colorado. Why? I'm not from Colorado. I currently live in Colorado. And when someone says, oh, they're like 45 minutes away from me, I'm like, yeah, because my content is literally speaking to that. So who am I attracting? People who are naturally already have that relatability factor. Like, even if I'm 3 hours away, that's already first conversation, an easy tie-in of trust, rapport, relatability that you didn't have to try and find. It was already there.
Yep.
Does that make sense, guys?
Same with
So,
me. I try to drop that in my content often, like so people can already relate to me without having to reach out to me and have a conversation. They're like, oh, if I say it's freaking hot outside and it's summertime in Texas, they're gonna relate to me.
right. You're like,
And
oh,
that
I'm in Texas too. Where are you at? There's
exactly.
naturally rapport where when it does go to a conversation, Catherine's like, she already has that natural ability to have rapport because the rapport was there without her trying, because her content is speaking to that. Debt, funnels, being nervous, going live and admitting that you're scared going live. I mean, there are so many things that you guys out there right now who are watching Teachable Tuesday are intentionally not doing because you're nervous, because you're paralyzed, because you're scared, because you're wondering what people think, whatever. Do you know how many more people there are who are literally thinking the same thing and they've not started yet? And your piece of content saying, I started, even though I started and I still am nervous, then they're like, well, shoot, she started. What's stopping me?
Right.
Right? You feel me? Okay. Uh, let me just make sure I didn't miss any comments real fast and then we'll move on. I'm going to share a document that you guys are going to have homework in. Okay. uh, Vanessa says, do you use your personal cell phone on your content? I personally do. Because when someone hits my funnel or they go to my YouTube channel, my number is there. If someone goes to, let's say your site is workwithvanessa.com, someone goes to your site, you have it attached to your funnel, it's going to be your number anyway. So You can have them go to the funnel. You can have a tie down, a CTA that says, when you go to workwithvanessa.com, I will text you back personally. You enter in your number so I can talk to you one-to-one, so I can help you out personally, so I can be there for you, right? Tie it down. Don't just say go to link, right? Make yourself stand out. But it's your personal number anyway. Now, for those of you who are like, ooh, scammers, I could literally count, not even on one hand, how many times I have gotten something inappropriate or someone using my number for wrong reasons. That has nothing to do with working at home. So if you're worried about experiencing that, posture up. Make it so your content stems for who you want to attract and why you're putting out the video. You're not putting out the video to be cute. You're not putting out the video to attract people who are like, oh, I'm just here because will you marry me? Right? You guys have probably gotten that. Make sure your content reflects the opposite if you're worried about that or if you're experiencing that. Okay. Gonna share a screen here. Yes, you guys will have access to this. And yes, please pay attention, especially those on the replay. Don't ask for permission to edit this. I will not give you permission to edit it. What I want you to do is go da 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 da, and you're going to copy and paste it into your own Google document, your own Word document, print it out, whatever. Feel free to delete, right? So every single piece is who you are. It's what you want. Does that make sense? Make sure that when you do this homework, which I sure hope you do, that you make it your own. Okay. We're going to use examples tonight, similar because Catherine and I are our avatar, right? We're literally exactly our avatar.
We're like one
We're
and the same.
ourselves. So it might not completely be like, oh, well, I don't attract moms. Well, yeah, probably because you're not a mom, or you're in a circumstance right now that isn't, I've got young kids, I'm getting out of debt, I need an identity as a mom, something, right? So understand that the concepts we're going to go over tonight are going to be examples, but please relate it to yourself. Decide for yourself who you want to attract, who your ideal team member is, what attributes do they have? Do you have those? That kind of a thing. Okay. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see it. So basic details. Okay. I just called her Janet. Why? Because I attract a lot of women, not because I can't have David Reynolds, not because I can't have a guy. Not that that doesn't happen, because it does, but my content is speaking to people who relate to me, right? Janet, age 34, I initially had. She's female. Location, Austin, Texas. Don't know why I chose Texas. I just did because I get a lot of people in the central area. So it made sense, right? And children is 3. Could it be because I have 3 kids myself? Or because I understand the chaos? Or that I understand being a mom is pressing sometimes, and sometimes my identity in the past has gotten lost with I'm just a mom, right? If you're my avatar right now, you're relating to everything that I say. Ironic, isn't it? Right? These are examples. Use them in your content. Okay. It doesn't have to literally be you. You don't have to say, okay, 30 years old, okay, 67 years old. I mean, oh, and his name's David too. Like, no, it doesn't literally have to be you. But you have to think, if you were in a circle of people at an event, how much fun would you have if you have a lot of relatability talking with those people in that circle who have been there, who have the same stresses, the same concerns, the same goals, the same successes as you? 9 to 5, trying to do this, trying to do that, debt, whatever. You'd have a lot in common. You'd probably have a really great conversation in person. Think of it that way. Does that make sense, guys? And I know I keep asking that, but I want to make sure that you're like, oh, okay, my content doesn't have to be like money, money, money. Oh, make money online. Like, yes, that's what we're doing. That's the aftermath. But the initial impression, the preface to the book, so to speak, is relatability. You feel me? Anything on that, Catherine, before I move on?
I think it's pretty clear. Like it's literally someone who can relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Yep.
overthink it. Don't overthink about it. Like all we're breaking it down so you can see it.
Yeah.
But again, like it's someone who literally just relates to you, your similar likes and interests, or lifestyle, your lifestyle, being a parent, working a job, all of those things are the things that you want to think about.
Yep. So I get a little bit detailed here, and this is part of your homework, right? Make sure to copy and paste it into a Google Drive yourself, into a Word document, print it out, whatever. Delete this, okay? Unless, well, even if this is your avatar, I still want you to come up with your own answers, okay? This is your homework after Teachable Tuesday. What do they do for work? Are they employed? How many hours do they work? I mean, as detailed as you can get, because you probably were there too. I'm overworked. I'm underappreciated. I hate my job. I commute to and from, blah, 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 blah. Say that in your content.
Or
Admit
even
that
there's
you're
people that are on disability as well. So if you're on disability, like I get a lot of people like that as well. That's
right.
something that people can relate to. And it's a big plus for them because they can do this from anywhere. So
Right.
whatever your situation is or your avatar created as, similar experiences.
Yep. Because then your content is natural. And we talked about maybe a month or so ago, tell the truth, say you started last week, say you started in October, say you've been around since 2022, whatever. And then say the experiences that you've had and tie it down to them and how you solve maybe the problem that they're like, oh no, because the person watching at the other side of the screen has not enrolled with you yet. So tie it down to, although I went through this, and yes, this is my goal, and yes, I will attain it, or maybe I'm not there yet. Yes, I'm nervous. Tie it down to how they can too, because you're there doing it. Make sense?
That's a big part of the posturing.
Yep.
You're going to have to posture yourself. Like, even though it's not about making $10,000 a month, whatever the case may be, it's honestly about just being able to help them. Okay.
Mhm.
If you can help them achieve X, Y, Z, it's not about you already being there. So again,
Right.
posture yourself and have that confidence, even though you haven't reached your goal yet, like, that where you are is how you're going to get there. Does that
Yep.
make sense?
And you're okay to admit it. You're okay to accept that you're not where you want to be yet, maybe. Okay. Say that in your content. Make it a case study. Watch me go from $100 ever made online, literally pennies for the goals I have, to 10,000 a month. I
I can
have this
guarantee
goal.
you that's
Hold
gonna
me to it.
put some fire underneath every single one of you.
Yep.
Because then you got people watching you. And that's not to say in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. I showed up on TikTok almost like 3 times a week. And that pressed me to, oh my God, well, if I don't reach my goal, like I have all these people watching me.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
used it as
Mhm.
like, this is fire. I'm like affirming my goal to the world and I'm gonna make it happen.
Yep.
So I encourage you to do it as well.
Yep. Ray had a good question here. How long is your typical video meeting people where they are at? It doesn't matter. And here's why. You could have a 15-second video that hits a pain point and ties it down to why they want to connect with you. You could also have a 1:30-second video that specifically follows the marketing formula: hook, build up, present, value, call to action. But you take your time, you slow down, but you're still, and I hope you guys get this, you're still following the formula. You're still bringing up the pain, focusing on the dream, how you solve it, and why that matters for them so that you stand out. Does that make sense? So the amount of time doesn't matter. It matters if you're following the formula. Because you could say a lot in a less amount of time. You could also say the same thing and give more detail. You feel me? Okay. So occupation details, for example, whatever comes to mind, like if, level of education, maybe where they went to school, maybe, where they met their spouse. I mean, you could get as detailed as you want. These are just generalized things. Now, here, for example, these things that I wrote out, just as an example for you guys to kind of get your mind going, that's what I experienced. That was me. I can still bring that up in my content, as I should, because it's not just that I went from $120,000 of debt, a small apartment, to now no debt, to now a home that we built in Peyton, but it's actually relatable for them because if they have been there themselves and you're admitting that, you're okay to like understand that you were in that position or are in that position. It makes the person trust you, which is the point, right? just personal examples. So when you copy and paste this into your own Word document, for example, please delete what I have highlighted, put in your own, whatever comes to mind, personal examples. Okay. A big one for my avatar is having another identity other than being a mom. Why is that important? Because people, yes, the result is I want to contribute financially, but the steps leading up to I want to contribute financially are I want to have something for myself. I want it to be where I'm empowered. I mean, there's so many twists and turns you could take with that, that if you're saying it in your content and you're having that clear call to action for how you're going to help them, they'll watch the video. Make sense? Professional, you guys get the gist here. Make 5 figures monthly. Even something like this, I'd maybe specify it. 5 figures could be 10,000. It could also be 99,900, depends what you mean. So specify it. Would an extra 5,000 a month help? Write out 60,000 annually. You know what I'm saying? Anything on those before I move on to the next piece?
Not really. I mean, it's very self-explanatory.
Okay, good. Does that make sense so far, guys? Let me know. There's nothing considered too long or too short of a video. However, if you're not following the formula, then yes, it is going to matter how long or short your video is, because if you're not following the formula, no one's going to watch the video, regardless of if it's 2 minutes or 20 seconds.
I know Ray asked if what's considered too long of a video. There is no such thing as too
Right.
long of a video. Really just follow the formula.
Yep.
And if you have some good value points in it, if you're keeping someone's attention and it's 2 minutes long, like I've made, it does not matter. Honestly, my longer content, I'm going to connect with my avatar even deeper
Exactly.
than me just kind of like, oh, I want to make $3,000 a month, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, that's kind of, it's catchy. It helps, go viral. It helps gain a lot of traction, but my deeper connections are with the longer form content. So
Mhm.
don't worry about, oh, is it too long? No, just worry about, are you speaking to your avatar? Are you following the formula? That's what you should be worried about.
Yep, exactly. You got it. Right here, we focus a lot on pain, but the reason we focus on pain isn't a manipulative thing, it's relatability. People need to understand that where they are doesn't have to be where they end up. And if you can say that in your content, I mean, literally, you could use that phrase. Where you are right now financially is not where you have to end up. Here's why, blah, 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 blah. Go to workwithkylie.com if you want to chat directly. I cannot wait to connect with you. Stand out by connecting rather than doing what everyone else is doing. Make sense? You guys can read all this. I don't need to read it necessarily, but this is me. This is where I was, right? Worried about the future with debt, wondering how to pay the bills. But even more than that, the suffocation of paycheck to paycheck, even using the word suffocation for people who are paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you out there right now on Teachable Tuesday, you're like, that's me. If I were to say that in my video, you naturally like, she was there too? Okay, well, shoot, she's done something different. Why can't I? Okay. Just want to point out these right here where I've got a little bit of bold going on. If you write down something like, their pain and fear is they have anxiety. Anxiety about what? The suffocation of debt, the overwhelming this, the not being able to drop their kids off at carpool and it means a lot to them. What's the thing? And again, speaking to my own avatar, if you're not a parent or you're not this example avatar, then yes, get creative. Who is it you want to work with? Who's your ideal person, your team member? Make sense? But dissect it. Don't just say, oh, they have anxiety. Well, sure. Just like everyone wants more money, but why? Why do they want more money? How much? What time frame? Who cares? Why does it matter? Okay. A big one that I was experiencing is I don't know where to start. So if you were going to have that in your content, tie it down to why you provide the starting point, how you provide the starting point. What are you going to help solve for them that maybe in the past they're like, I don't know where to start because all it is this, 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 and then they get mad about it. How can you stop the anger? How can you provide a solution? Okay. Right here, this is a really good response. You guys can read it. Okay. A lot of pain comes from, what if this doesn't work for me? Well, you could create a video for literally what's highlighted right now, because that's the truth. That's the only way to fail. And then the I don't have time. Well, twofold. Time is going to pass anyway, regardless. So you might as well work on your goals, right? You could also say in your content, look, I started 45 days ago. I've made $100. I've made $10, and I'm still pressing forward because I know that the time it takes to get to where I want to be is going to pass anyway. If you resonate with that, drop me a comment. If you resonate with that, go to my link right now, workwithkylie.com, so we can chat one-to-one. Let's overcome this together, right? Have it be where it's tied down to why they want to connect with you. Don't just throw out mud and be like, oh, well, I followed the formula. Well, did someone make it to your call to action by you following the formula, right? Right here, you guys can read this. You guys are getting the gist, I'm sure. But when you copy and paste it into your own Word document, your own Google Drive folder, whatever, do the actual homework. What are they scared about? What were you scared about? What are you currently scared about? Have that be in your content. Make sense? Just examples there. What's your story? Okay, same type of dissection. Yes, this homework should not take you 10 minutes. I'll just be real. If you're going to actually do the homework for Teachable Tuesday today, it's going to take you longer than 10, 15, probably even 25 or 30 minutes. Because if you're really connecting, you're really bringing up the pain for what you're currently or had experienced, why you started the side hustle. It's not just to make more money. Yeah, everyone and their dog. Why do you want to make more money? What does it mean for you, right? For me, it meant taking my kids to Disney World or Disneyland and not worrying about paying for it, right? I don't want to worry about that. I want to be able to take them when I want and not hope and pray for time off. Say something like that in your content if that's something that you relate to yourself. Okay. You guys can read these just as an example, right? Holding my breath for a $2 hourly increase or having a day off. You guys have probably experienced that. Maybe you're experiencing that now. So say that in your content. Tie it down to a 2-hour increase. If you're at $20 an hour, now you're 22. Did you know you could do that at home instead? And I'll teach you for free how to do so. If you'd rather that than climb the corporate ladder, go right now to blah so I can text you directly, right? So I can connect with you one-to-one. So I can help you personally tie it down to why they want to go to the funnel, why they want to go to your website, why they want to comment. Okay. Any
I hope
thoughts
you
on
guys are
that,
taking
Catherine?
notes. I hope they're taking notes. That's all I'm saying. You are dropping so many short form video content ideas, guys. Do not overthink it. It is literally probably what you're going through right now,
It is.
especially if you got started within the last 30 days.
Mhm.
Give yourself some grace as well. You know, it does take some practice, but it is literally what you are experiencing and why you joined. It's
Mhm.
just really like extending your hand out and saying like you will help someone else as well.
Mhm.
That's why I focus so much on inspiration and just literally helping that next person because I knew how it felt. I was that person. And then you see all these other people that are just doing generic stuff, talking about money, but they're not actually connecting with their audience.
Mhm.
People
Yep.
come to social media to connect.
Yep.
So you're going to do that by speaking directly to your avatar using all of these examples.
Yep. And connection, write this down, guys. Connection equals conversion. If you're looking at the vanity metrics, like, oh, I didn't get enough views. Oh, I didn't get enough comments. It's not about that. It is not about that. I'll give you an example. I went live, I don't know, 4 or 5 times last week on Facebook. The one that got the least amount of comments landed me 5 sales. The ones that I got more comments on, more engagement, replay, whatever, landed 2. So vanity metric wise, looking at it, you're like, oh, that video must have been good. Look at all the comments. But it wasn't. Focus less on how can I gain traction? How can I go viral? And focus more on the video that has only 300 or 400 views. Well, what if you land 2 sales from that? because it speaks right to your avatar. And the person's like, you moved me into action. I got where you were coming from. That's me. And I get where I can be because of your video, right? You want people to have that connection. Connection equals conversion. Okay. Down here, okay, this is going to be your biggest piece that's probably going to take the most time. And I intentionally did not fill it out because I did not want to give you guys examples to even get your mind going, not because I don't have your back, but because I want it to come from you, like very, very specifically come from you. How is your business offer going to add value to your avatar's life? Avatar, again, meaning ideal client, ideal team member, someone who's relatable for you, right? It's not just about making money. If you guys bullet point out benefit statements of like, oh, they'll be able to quit their 9 to 5. No, ask why. Why do they want to quit their 9 to 5? It's bigger than just not reporting to a boss. It's bigger emotionally than just not commuting to and from work. It's not just about working on the phone and sitting on your couch and eating chips and making money. Like, sure, you could say that. That could be the dream. But why does it matter? Why do they want to sit on the couch rather than commuting to and from? Why is it important that they're home for dinner, that they tuck their kids into bed, that they retire their spouse who's in their 70s still working? I mean, what is it that you can relate to because you're there yourself? Currently, in the past, whatever. Okay. And when I say benefit statements, I'm not talking features. Okay. Think of it like a car dealership. The features would be the interior is black and, the steering wheel is nice and whatever. The benefit, if I've got 3 kids, would be it's nice that the interior is black because when they spill, it'll blend. That speaks directly to why I'd want to purchase that car, not just like, oh, it looks good, right? The feature and benefit, are you giving features or are you giving the benefit of what that means? Okay. DFY funnels, done for you funnels, for example. I say that in my content often. Make sure that you tie it down. Why does it matter if you do the funnels for them? Why does it matter if the funnels are free? Make sense? Right here, if your avatar above started their online business now and hit it hard for 6 months, how would their life change? Answer that question. Okay. You could even answer it now, whatever comes to mind. If you want to be bold in the chat, I dare you. If your ideal team member enrolled global tonight, you made $400. You put out content that was relatable, that was trusting, that was true, speaking truth, right? Not lying and hoping for sales. How would it change your life? Why do they want to do it now? Why not wait a month? Why not, follow you for a long time? Why is it that they would want to take action now? Okay. Bullet point those out. And then this is a hard one. And this is where I really, really want you to focus on the benefit, not the feature. 12 words or less, describe your business offer. What is it that you're offering a person? This is hard. It's more and also more simple than just I help people make money from their phone and get paid on Friday. Why do those things matter? And the reason it's 12 words or less is because, as maybe you guys have heard, it's an elevator pitch. If you were to quickly describe to someone what you do and why it matters for them, what sentence comes to mind? Okay. Those last 3 questions, those bullet points, the features, benefits, whatever, those are meant to have you really, really think. And honestly, it might frustrate you. You might not have an answer. That's the point. Why? Because when you have to go further into why your content is going to say that, which means you're going to have better conversions. Make sense, guys? I'm going to share this document right now before I forget. What other thoughts do you have, Catherine?
I think we pretty much covered it all, really, for you to truly understand that you are your avatar and how to speak to them directly. Like, all of the little nuggets that we dropped tonight are going to help you, especially with the document and actually filling it out. Okay. Getting your brain thinking like, who is your ideal like avatar? Who's your ideal client that you want to work directly with?
Yep. And why does it matter?
Yeah.
It's like and it's cliche, but it's true. Someone says, oh, well, I want to quit my 9 to 5, right? I want to make $10,000 a month. Why? Well, so I can pay off my debt. Why? Well, because I don't like debt. Why? Well, because debt hurts me. Why? Well, it stresses my husband out. Why? I mean, like you
Getting
really got to dissect why it matters. Not only for yourself, but also for your content, for the people to connect with you. Yes. But even on the other aspect of it, when you can sit and be a 2-year-old and continue to ask why. Why do I have to do that? Why does that matter? Why? You're like, shut up already. That's where I want you to be. I want you to ask yourself why so much that you actually get to the root of it. Because it's not just retiring your spouse. It's not just making 10,000 or 3,000 or whatever. It's more than that. There was something in your life, whether currently or in the past, that it mattered to you. And that was your trigger point. That was the reason you took action. That was the reason you're here. So dissect it. Be okay to go there. Okay. I know that was a lot tonight. Do you guys have any specific questions about your avatar, about following the formula, about the document that you guys just got? I'll drop it again just so you guys have it. Are you, if you have questions, drop it in the chat. Okay. Applicable to tonight, not random, whatever. Anything about your avatar, anything that came to mind that you're like, yeah, I need clarity on that. Drop it in the comments right now. Okay. And as I'm waiting for some questions. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Be sure to analyze your content, guys. Whenever you're creating, ask yourself before you post it, does this speak to my avatar?
Yep.
And think about yourself. Think about yourself. Would you buy or would you actually inquire due to this piece of content? Like, is it speaking to the person or is it just talking to them?
Right.
Because again, like you always say, paint the picture for how you're going to help solve their problem, whether it be, I'm scared to post on social media, I'm scared to get scammed, I want to get out of debt, or whatever the case may be. How are you going to help them solve that problem? Paint the picture for them and give them that CTA, tie it down as to why it matters and how you're going to help them.
Right.
You won't attract the wrong people when you do this, when you ask yourself these questions. And the answer is yes, that you are speaking directly to them. You're going to get DMs, comments, me, that's me. They're going to be running to you because you're literally speaking from their experiences. But yeah, like they feel it and it's emotional. What do they say? People buy off emotion. There you go. You got to get to the root. They do.
Well, and it's not like, I'll give the car example again, right? If I go to purchase the car and they say the interior is nice, but then the person, instead of just saying the interior is nice or it has this or it has that, if they specifically notice I've got 3 kids, they're being rambunctious, whatever, they might not say that, but a good salesperson at a car dealership would be like, oh, I've got a 6-year-old myself. Is he like 6 or 7? I mean, there'd be relatability, and then he would know why the interior being black is important for me. When you can do the same thing, you can say it in your content. It's not just making $3,000 a month. It's now you don't have to go donate plasma and hope and pray for the weekend, right? Why does it matter? Tie it down, be decisive, be very, very painting the picture, descriptive, right? People think in pictures. So the more painted in a picture you can be in your content, yes, still following the 4-point formula, the more they're going to visualize what you just said, whether it's painful, whether it's dreaming, whether it's a connection for you, whatever. The more you can paint the picture, because people think in pictures. If I say, what color is your car? You automatically thought your car. And I didn't even have to say, think about your car. I say elephant, you think elephant, you think in pictures, right? So paint the picture for the person. Okay. Quick thing. Sim said, I do feel like I relate to other people other than my avatar. Not sure how to approach that idea. Well, David Reynolds is here and he is not a mother, right? He's also not in his 30s, maybe his 20s. Wink, wink. Um, he's here. It's okay if your content speaks to other people. It's more about you having the leg up for people being like, me, that's me. Holy crap. I'm here. I'm taking action because it's emotional for you. It's real for you. So you can attract other people. You totally,
I,
100%.
I attract more dads than I do moms, honestly. Like, and serious about, I mean, my whole team is pretty much men who
Mhm.
are just like parents. And I'm not saying like I don't work with men, but you
Yeah.
know, they naturally still attract because they're like, oh my God, like I would love to be able to spend more time with my family. I would love to be able to, whatever, my wife is working. I don't want her to work. Like they're thinking for their wives as well. Oh, my
Right.
husband sent me your content. You did?
Right.
So yes, you can definitely speak to, you're going to naturally speak to,
Yeah.
other people that can relate to, what it is that you're saying in your content, whether it's you're working a job or you're tired of working a 9 to 5 and you want more time with your kids to be able to take them to Disney, whatever the case may be, you're going to be speaking to them.
Mhm.
In my content, I don't even have to speak and people will relate to me.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my tattoos. Y'all already know I have a lot of tattoos, okay? I don't talk about my tattoos. I don't say one thing about them. And I naturally have people that relate to me and literally want to work with me because they're like, oh my
Because
God,
of
I'm
that.
tattooed just like you. Like
Mhm.
we have that similar interest.
Yep.
For me too, I can go deeper and further and be like, I can't go get a 9 to 5 with all this. Who's
Right.
gonna hire me? I can
Right.
do, I can market my business like that and, attract other people that, have that pain point because
Mhm.
we will have trouble trying to get a job, a good job being heavily tattooed.
Yep.
My avatar, someone's going to relate to that. But I specifically don't have to say it. They just see it and
Mhm.
they can relate to me. Does that make sense?
And there's a lot, you guys, that you could be saying in your content without actually verbalizing it. I mean, Catherine's daughter is on here right now, right? For anyone who sees the replay, even if they're already in TFT, they're catching the replay. They're like, how old is she? And she's rocking it. Freak. Why can't I? Like, oh, you know, because it's relatable. Okay. Mariah said, question about the description for video. Is it to regurgitate what we just said in our video or more in depth about our story? Don't have your video say the same thing as what you put in the description. In fact, I would keep it simple. Go to workwithmariah.com, whatever your domain. Do applicable hashtags. Not every single video should, I'd say 80%, to be honest, should include like, here's a bunch of things to read, and here's my link, and here's my this, and I'll help you with that bullet point. I'd rather you say that because it's connecting. If a person has to read a novel, scroll. So make your call to action exactly where you want them to go because that's the intent, right? You watch through the video. This is where you go. You say it in your video, whatever. What's the next action step you want them to take? Treat it like a 2-year-old. Walk into the room and grab this, come back, right? You wouldn't say walk into the room and then like turn around, do the hokey pokey and grab the pink thing. I mean, you'd have one thing because a 2-year-old, one thing, right? They'll take decisive action if you're specific. Okay. Making sure I didn't miss any questions. Ray says, is it wrong or inappropriate to have multiple avatars based on experience and who we're speaking to? I understand each would need to be detailed. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Again, just like Sim, you're going to attract people anyway, but the more relatable you can be naturally from the get-go, just like I live in Colorado, right? I'm sure there's people on this video right now and those on the replay who live in Colorado. Whether they connected with me or someone else, there's people who live in Colorado. Why? Because my content speaks to that. It also hashtags something like Colorado moms, right? Basically, you're just giving yourself a leg up for conversions by connecting on purpose, sharing your story. being okay to be a case study, admitting your goals, admitting the struggle, admitting something good or bad that you've gone through, no matter when you started, and then tying it down, giving the meaning for how you help solve that problem. Okay. As always, you guys, you can catch the replay here within the next hour tonight if you want to, tomorrow, whenever, at teachabletuesdayreplays.com. Feel free to bookmark that, be in the replays, just as I asked at the beginning. Whether you started 30 days ago, you're like still in the fast start guide, or you're like, hey, I show up to every meeting. That's great. But make sure that you're in the training, you're in the trenches of proximity, always having something in your mind for what we teach here at the funnel team. That way you can explode financially. Okay. Want to close this out, Catherine? What's your mic drop?
I might drop. It's a word. No, I'm confident. I'm very confident that this Teachable Tuesday tonight and those on the replay has been very, very helpful for you. Be sure to be intentional with everything that we said. Don't just be like, oh, generically want to work from home, want to make money. No, really dissect why, guys. Go into why this matters, not just for you. We're talking about the people that you can impact.
Exactly.
Those that you want to connect with, because it's not just about you. It's about who you can actually help. When you can help someone else, you're going to naturally be helping yourself. So focus on that connecting piece, on how you can connect with somebody through your content and solve their problem naturally. I love
Authentically.
that.
Yep.
Yes.
That was the
It
perfect
doesn't have
mic
to
drop.
feel like it doesn't have to feel like, oh, like I'm trying to be salesy and like get people to buy. No, when you learn how to connect with your avatar and then some, it just naturally happens because y'all are in alignment.
Yep.
So
Yep.
go be in alignment with your avatar now.
Now get to work.
I want to
Awesome.
see it. I want to see some content.
Yep, I do. I do too. You got to get to work. You got to put it into practice. And she literally just mic dropped the crap out of that. When you help others, when you focus on the connection, thinking larger than yourself, because it's not about you, you're going to naturally help yourself because you are in that contagious energy. Okay. So go do the dang thing. Catch the replay later on if you need to. The document we discussed will be under the description right underneath this video on teachabletuesdayreplays.com for those catching that. And I did drop it in the comments right now for those live. And we'll see you inside the Facebook group. Have an awesome night, you guys. Thanks for popping on.
Bye.